Well, the days of the 1920s couldn't last forever. And of course, we know what's coming if we're students of American history at all. In October 29th, 1929, the stock market crashes and continues to crash and plunges the United States into an economic crisis. This stock market crash, for most Texans, seemed fairly remote. This seemed like an Eastern phenomena, really, in 1929, and there wasn't a whole lot of worry. I mean, people very rarely understand that they're in the middle of a great and momentous historic event while they're in it. And so Texans kind of said, oh, it's terrible if you own a lot of stocks, but we don't own a lot of stocks. The people that own a lot of stocks tend to be greedy Easterners, and they're suffering because they weren't prudent, not like we Texans, because of course we're prudent. So, did we really have anything to worry about in Texas? No, the cotton crop was already sold, so that money was in the bank, and oil continues to churn along, and it looks like it's only going to gather momentum. In fact, in the first couple of years of the 1930s, productivity in Texas goes way up. As a result, most Texans in the early part of the 1930s, at the beginning of what becomes known as the Great Depression, figure that they must be somehow economically exceptional, that the Depression is something that happens to the rest of the country and not Texas. Until about 1931, end of 31 and into 1932, the economic crisis begins to lap across the shores of Texas. It's tough to tell if you're poor in Texas in the early 1930s because 60% of the people that are farming are already sharecroppers. So they're trying to figure out if this is the same old poverty that they faced or is this something new. Well, nobody has to wait very long to find out because finally the economic tsunami arrives, and it comes in the form of bank failures and other things that are occurring across the rest of the country or have been occurring for the last couple of years. Farmers also figure out that, this isn't the same old poverty. This is a new kind of poverty as they watch the prices for their commodities drop. In fact, you start to have a deflation going on across the country. There's also a massive drought that is exacerbating this economic crisis. So farmers are getting hit two ways. And it's starting to look a little rocky in Texas. However, the Texas economy is diverse enough that it is able to weather some of this beating better than other places in the United States. Governor Ross Sterling, who's governor of Texas at the time, looked around and said, all right, there must be something that government can do, but he seemed powerless to come up with a solution. Well, everybody was powerless. And so it took the arrival of a rainmaker in the form of Franklin Delano Roosevelt to sort of change this economic situation, and Texas is along for the ride.